me now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am righteous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from you, I'm not gonna cheat you. I'm gonna tell you the truth, whether you like that or not. That's it.
What's good?
Yeah, what up? What up? What up?
Vanderslice, Sleezy. What's been going on?
Nothing, man. What's going on, man?
Yo, you've been. Maybe I'm just not aware, but I used to rock with you way back when you had your shirt off. You was making videos and the whole nine. I'm like, yo, I even know you were still, popping, doing your thing like that.
Yeah, I mean, I never stopped, man. I just stopped. Like posting about it. I guess I don't know. Like there's no ego. I just do the work. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No doubt. Yeah, because I remember used to have the shirt off, and the equipment you were using was the Roland. I think it was the 606, right?
Yes, it was.
Right. So what are you using now?
The MPCX.
Ah, okay. So what made you want to step it up?
Well, I had two Roland SP606s, and they both broke the same day.
Damn.
Yeah, like anybody that knows like Roland machines, like they had a function where you had to press and hold the record button and then hit play to make it actually start recording, and the trigger for the record button broke on both of them the same day.
Right.
So I ordered an MPC Renaissance, and I just never looked back. It was so much easier and just better. It was just so much better. The 606 only had 2 outs. So, if you wanted to track out beats, man, it was like an hour-long process.
Right.
Now there's no, like, there's limitless tracks on the MPCX.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So you went from the 606, now you with the MPCX or whatnot.
Yes,
do you hear a difference in your beats? Has your quality of beats maintained the same, or they just gotten better using this equipment?
Honestly, they've been the same. They maintain the same. Like, I got the best engineer in Philadelphia, Scott Stallone. Whenever we do songs, he's the brand. He's part of my brand for real. Like, his sound is so unique and signature. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat it.
Right. Because I've interviewed a lot of heads on this platform, and you're like got the OG status because you've been around for a good minute.
Do you think so? It's like, yeah. I don't consider myself an OG, but yeah, I mean, to the kids coming up now, I definitely am for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. To the ones coming up now, we would be considered like the OG or whatever. Because I remember seeing you like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been
a minute, making beats and whatnot, seeing you flip the samples. So are you still digging in the crates, or have you started with digitals?
No, I'm always digging in the crates.
So there's no e-digging with you at all?
Well, no, I'm definitely e-digging too. I use a lot of sample packs now,
Right.
Like Crate League, my man MTK, the Rucker Collective, Polyphonic Music Library, man. Like, they're making shit that sounds like library records. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same. Right. It's the same texture, and that's really what I go for. The texture is everything. Like, I still dig, but I dig in other places. Like, one of my main projects I'm working on, like, I have a series of television beat tapes that I looped off of TV shows. No records at all. Like, I made it. It's called the Michael Knight tape. It's a Knight Rider tape of all the samples from the entire series of Knight Rider that I made beats from. And I got a couple features on it. Like, I got Root, Riggs, and Mooch on a joint. My man UFO Thief and Red Info on one. Ty Farris. So, and then I got a Magnum PI tape. OT the Reels on that. So it's like, I'm digging through TV shows is the same thing as digging through records.
Right. Yeah, and I was going to ask you that. So are you visiting record stores like you used to back in the day, or is that slowed down?
No, I'm not visiting any record stores, man. I'm a boutique guy now. I'll admit that. Like, because the thing is, I can call, I can call my man Gene Brown and get anything I need. You know what I mean? Right. I can call, my man Rob from Princeton Record Exchange and get whatever I need.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, when you've been in the game this long and you spent the kind of money that I spent on records, there's a certain respect that comes with that. Like, I get white glove service from a lot of guys, from a lot of dealers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm fortunate in that regard. But there's nothing that replaces being in the field. Because the thing is, man, when you find something you've never seen before, or
Right,
you find something that's super duper rare for like in the dollar crate, you know what I mean?
right.
It's like nothing replaces that. Nothing.
True indeed. Now, at one time, I think you were even selling samples, right?
I was, yeah.
Okay, what made you stop doing all of that?
Once I got enough money doing other shit, you know what I mean? Dude, I was a hustler for many years. So once I really got financially secured that way, I just didn't need to sell samples. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what, I'm holding. I'd rather use them for myself.
Right. True indeed. So let's go into some beat science or whatever, because is your process the same back then as it is? I mean, the same now as it is back then?
Yeah,
So
I
just you still chopping samples.
yeah, and on top of that, like when I make beats, I keep a stack of records here. I'll put one on and I just listen. I just sit and listen. And I don't sample anything until something like, all right, well, that's the one. That's the one that gets me, the one that whatever gets my fingers moving. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever gets the spirit fingers going. That's what we're rocking. All right? That's what we're doing. I tell people all the time, if you're gonna dig for records, like for samples to make beats, just dig for good music. The rest of the samples, they're right there. They're right with them.
Right,
Like dude, like dope records. You know what I'm saying? Dope records. You have dope samples all the time.
right. Because you know what I found that when I listen to certain beats, they'll have dope drums, but the sample will be just boring. It just
Yeah.
the drums is rocking, the drums hit, they smack, they everything, but the sample is just dry. It just doesn't
Yeah,
move.
I understand what you're saying. A lot of like soundtrack, like I call them French samples because like the French have a lot of records where it's just like be one sound, like some ominous low tone sounds for 4 minutes, and people think that's like heat. It's not.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really
I'm
is.
with you. And again, it's dope drums, whack beats, man.
Yeah. Because the sample is like, no, I like the drums, I like the pattern they got rocking, but the sample is just bland. It just doesn't really stand out. So what you're doing is basically you don't spot sample, you play the whole record
Yeah, just listen.
and just listen.
Yeah, and whatever piques my interest, that's when we start chopping up.
So I guess you'll be sitting there if you play video games or whatever the
Yeah,
case may be, and then you hear something, you jump up and
absolutely. Yeah.
start working. You know what I mean? And you think that seems to be
Well,
very
I learned.
important nowadays.
Yeah, and I learned that from Pete Rock, man. Pete Rock said always listen to the entire record. Like he said that he's like don't ever just listen for the sample. You should listen to the entire record, and then like you go listen to They Reminisce Over You. The loop is in the middle of the song. Most people wouldn't have caught that. You know what I mean?
Right, true.
So always listen to the whole song.
So what genres of music are you digging for nowadays, or it's just wherever?
Well, like I said, right now, so I'm sampling a lot of TV shows. So like anything 80s like Mike Post, like A Team,
Right.
synth rock type shit. But it's like, beyond that, I like soul music, man. 45s,
Mhm.
just soul music with really big like rhythm sections. And because like again, I'm gonna give a jewel out. There's a program called the RX8 made by Isotope. You can isolate drums, you can isolate sounds, you can take the vocals out. So, sky's the limit now. You can sample whatever you want. You can take a 45 that's got like big drums and really dope horns, and you couldn't sample that before.
Right.
Now you can put it to where the drums will be in the background, and you just lay your ears on top. It's a whole new world. It's crazy.
Right. So things have changed from 10 years ago to now.
Oh yeah.
With
And it's only getting better. I
Right.
don't know how they do it, but it's Jake One put me onto it. Jake One did a remix EP, and he chopped out all the acapellas with the RX7.
Mm.
And I was like, man, he was just like, hey, check it. And I went and checked it out. I was like, yo, this is game breaking.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So what about drums? It's just, you using packs too, or you
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing, like I tell people all the time, like, if I use a loop out of a pack, like Mario Luciano I think he makes the best drums as far as like drum pack guys go. The polyphonic music library drums are the best in the business. But like you got to make it your own. You know what I'm saying? So I take the break and I won't ever use the break as is. Like I'll use the pattern and I'll cut out the snare, get rid of that snare, or I'll replace the kicks. And I always use, and again, since the RX8, all my snares are mine. All my snares that I use are mine. You can't get them anywhere. They're not on drum breaks. Like I chopped them out of like Korean records and all. You know what I mean? Because like when
Right.
you use the RX-8 to isolate the drums, like you know what I'm saying, they're totally unique to my beats now. So it's like that I'm really loving that.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not a lot of people are up on that shit yet, man. So
Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
you just gave out a jewel. The
yeah, hey,
RFA.
look, I'm here to help, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially being as long as I've been in this shit, man. Like, yo, there's not a lot of people giving out tips.
Right. Right. And that's why you want Strictly for My Diggers, because that's what it's about. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because there's not a lot of us left, man. You know what I mean? We got to try to bring the next generation into this shit, so we can grow somehow.
Right. Yeah, because I had chopped it up with I had Fifth Seal on. You know,
Yeah, word.
definitely doing his thing dope, and he opened my eyes to a lot too. You know. So when it comes to your drums, are you quantizing or are you taking the quantize off?
I quantize the kicks and snares, and then lay the hi hats by hand and the shakers by hand.
Okay, so why? Because a lot of other producers I spoke to, they said they don't quantize. What is your reason for quantizing? What does that do?
I want to keep everything in timing, man. I don't like that. Like, listen, man, Dilla was his own man, and Dilla was also a professional drummer. Most of these guys aren't professional drummers,
Right.
and it's like also like I like certain structures, man. Like I try to lay my drums like with the samples. It's like and I mean I use different types. Like I don't use the eighth and quarter notes. You put the kicks in 16. You might put the snares in 32. It gives you more leeway to move them around. Like the grid on the MPC goes from 1 to 164.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like I just turn it off whenever I lay my hi hats or shakers, just because you want it to sound natural. I want it to sound like a real drum break, man. I don't want it to sound with the goofy off timing with your swing on 68 going for that Dilla feel, man. It's like I don't like that type of shit. It's like his sound was so natural because it was him. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Everybody else doing it, it's just like, oh, man, it sounds crooked. You know what I mean? That's why I say it sounds crooked. When I hear other people try to emulate that shit, it just sounds crooked, man. I ain't into it.
Right. So basically, would you say that you wouldn't sample a drum break and just loop a break up?
Very rarely. Listen, if I loop a break, that joint costs buku dollars because like then the flex is in the sample itself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I got a bunch of like really rare breaks. You know what I'm saying? But I still like to chop them up. I like to just add my own flair to it, man.
Yeah.
So if I rock a full drum break, it's something crazy, something rare, something crazy.
Yeah. Because some people, instead of just finger drumming with the or
Yeah,
laying the kick here and the snare there. So when you, all right, so you say it's rare that you use drum loops.
yeah.
So when you're laying your drums, are you laying your drums on separate tracks, kick, snare, or you
No,
playing it all out and it's all on one track?
it's all on one track. For like the thing is with the MPCX, you could run the MPC software as a plugin in Pro Tools,
Right.
and then track out by the pad, so you don't need to use different tracks. I use different tracks when I use synths like my keyboard. If I want to lay the bass or whatever, that goes on a different track. I don't put that on the same track as the rest of the beat. But yeah, all the drums, samples, they're all on one track, all on one screen.
Right. So each of with your beats, each sequence is how many tracks?
Each sequence, probably. I mean, it's one track, but I mean, it's like kick, snare, hat, shaker, samples. Like there's like 7 or 8
7 or 8
total.
tracks
Yeah,
total.
yeah.
Right. Not too much.
Less is
not too
more,
little.
man. Yeah, like
Right.
less is more. Plus, again, when you're making beats,
Mhm.
you don't want to add all these extra blips and bleeps and flares and shit. You want to get the song done, and then you can put whatever you want on it.
Right.
Less is always more, man. Like I learned that from my engineer. I learned from Scott. You take stuff in, you take skeletons in. I mean, like I still make my full beats. Like they still sound full and done, but it's like, I don't add any EQ. I don't compress anything. No effects, very minimal effects. And the effects are usually something like a wet reverb on the snare to get that, like the crack. So you get the echo in the back. But it's like beyond that, I don't add anything to any of my beats until the song is done, man.
Right. So that's in the mixing stage.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, do you mix or you have your engineer do all of that?
I have my engineer do it, and basically, it's like, I feel like Rick Rubin. Rick
Right.
Rubin just sits there and tells you what he wants to hear. That's pretty much what I do.
Got you.
You know what I mean? It's like, listen, man, like what they say, the jack of all trades is a master of none. So it's like, I focus on what I'm good at, and my man Scott's a monster at what he does. And it's just like, I hear something like, look, you know what? I think we should add a reverb to that, or I don't think this snare fits, or whatever. Like, we work on the spot once the songs are done.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you this question: do you think there's a difference between a beat maker and a producer?
Yeah, absolutely. The
Okay.
producer doesn't have to do anything but be in the room. Like listen, man, you listen to Dr. Dre's beats. Like, a lot of those beats weren't made by him, but like once he got down to them, he put all of his flair on them, and then they become Dr. Dre beats. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a producer is much more than just sitting here and banging out pads. A producer can put songs together. A producer can blend songs together. So nothing, you know what I mean? Put everything seamless. Like, a producer is so much more than a beat maker.
Right. Got you. But I also see the beat maker as like sort of like the foundation of it, because he's the one that's grabbing all the utensils and actually making the beat. There's producers that don't even touch the equipment.
Yeah, no, but you know what it is? It's like, you got to look at it like a comic book. Like, the beat maker is the guy that does all the drawing.
Right.
The producer's the illustrator. They need each other. Or like, like a baker, I'll bake the cake, so the producer puts the icing on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need them both.
Right.
And a great producer, like I said, a great producer like Dr. Dre can make the beats, but he also doesn't have to make the beats. Like, at this point, he can pick what he wants and then put, like, again, he puts his own flair on it.
Right.
And the other thing about Dre, I mean, I use him as the example because nobody ever complained about getting jerked by Dre. He pays everybody.
Mm.
And that dude, that's such a rare quality in anybody these days. Because, there's a lot of producers, as you just, what you're saying is like, they'll just try to take what's yours.
Right.
And give you nothing for it.
Right. True indeed. So how often are you working with the artists in the studio now?
Never. Never. My man Verb Tech, he lives in Philly, so we can work in person. But I think beyond that, I think the last time I worked with a rapper in the studio was when I'm trying to think, probably Freddie Gibbs when we were in D&D. We were at Premiere Studio. Okay. That's the last time we worked in person. That was like 2014.
Right. Now, do you prefer to work alone? Is that how you prefer?
No, I'd rather work with a rapper, but they just mm-hmm. Rappers don't. They're on their own time, man. And that's the other thing. When they get in the studio and they want to sit and write in the studio, I can't. I have no time for that. Okay. Like, I don't want to. When I go to the studio, I'm there to work, man. I'm not there to help you find your creative juice. Like, fuck that.
Right. So you rather them have the song already written, come to the studio
and bang it out.
Let's be out.
Yeah.
So you don't have the patience for them to write and the beat.
Nah, it's still just, man. I made the beat. I don't want to sit and listen to it for 2 hours while you write a song, man. Like, you do that on your own time.
Wow. So what's good with Stu Bangas? Because weren't y'all like y'all were like really close at one time, right? Weren't y'all? Yeah. You still work together?
Nah.
No,
I don't even talk to him. He reissued the Black Poet record, didn't even pay me. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. And I don't have beef with Stu. I just don't fuck with him. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, Stu Bangas. Yeah, because I remember y'all two like neck and neck doing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we were really close friends.
Yeah. Because I remember back then your beats had more of like a heavy metal rock kind of sound back then.
Dude, listen, I'll give Stu credit there. Like, he and I were definitely the only other people that were really doing it like that were Sid Rome's.
Right.
I'd put my rock beats up against anybody.
Right.
And the thing is there were a lot of people that were biting that shit, so I just moved on from it, man. I'm not even interested in rock beats. Very rarely. Mm-hmm. Like, that sound to me sounds dated these days. Like, dude, it's not even interesting anymore.
Right. Now, you got a project with UFO Feed
yes,
coming out, right? Because I heard the crack shifts. That was pretty dope. I like that.
I appreciate it.
And that's featuring Flea Lord.
Yeah,
so how did you link up with that brother?
Well, UFO and Feeve and I, it's like my brother, man. Like, we linked in like 2017 when Matthew Ragazzino and I.
Oh, wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, Math and I were working on some joints, and they were gonna do a joint project called Mason and Starks.
Right.
And I was going to do all the beats because my name's Vanderslice. I was going to be Van Gundy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the concept was hard. But, Matt started going through some personal shit. And then he just kind of got his life together. You know what I mean? He became a carpenter and shit. Matt, like, he was like, you know what, man, I'm good. So Feeve and I just pushed on without him, man. Like, we started working in like 2018. And then just over the course from then to now, we just started working, man. It was such a blessing, man. The chemistry's there. He's my favorite rapper out. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, like, dude, he's so sharp. You know what I'm saying? And he's so witty, and my beats fit him perfectly. You know what I'm saying? It feels like like Premier and Guru. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of chemistry there, and it's authentic street music, man. Made by street people. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not some cornball shit.
Right. So I take it that wasn't made in the studio.
No.
So you were just sending him tracks or whatever.
Yeah.
He was writing to it and all that.
Yeah, and then my engineer mixed it, his engineer mastered it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Gotcha. So do you prefer to do projects where you're producing from top to bottom, or you still just rather just give beats here and there?
I would rather do top to bottom. You know what I mean? Especially the people that believe in me. Like, if they, you know what I'm saying? Like, people that believe in me and know what I can do. It just gives us more creativity. Like, me and Steez, man, we can get busy. Because again, making the beats is just one piece of the puzzle, man. Being able to put songs together and, like, just add layers to things. It's just, that's where the fun part is for us.
Right. So has there been a time when you giving Feeve some beats? Because I know you as a producer / beat maker, you have a certain maybe topic in mind, or you have an idea. When you give him a beat and he does something opposite to it, do you tell him, or do you just let him rock with it?
It depends on the result. You know what I mean? Like, cause listen, we definitely have different visions, and it's like he follows some of my vision, and then I follow some of his. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's one joint on the Feeve record that it's a very rare 45 loop that I just love the loop, and he wasn't really feeling it. I just told him, I'm like, look, man, you gotta rap on this. Like, this is one for me. You know what I'm saying? And then he killed it. So it's like, it's give and take, especially if you're working on a whole project. It's give and take.
Right. Gotcha.
Because anybody, first of all, you don't want to work with anybody that's like really on that like Nazi type shit. With like, man, you gotta go and redo that. If you do that more than once or twice, they're just gonna be turned off and go do something else.
Right.
Because rappers have very frail egos, man. It just is what it is.
Right. So how does someone like yourself, who's been around for a while, sustain a career in this? Because long gone are the days of getting 50,000, 20,000, 10,000 for a beat. How do you sustain?
I didn't sustain. I sold drugs. You know what I'm saying? I fucking sold weed. I smuggled weed for 3 or 4 years. I got arrested in 2019, Memorial Day. I've been on fucking house arrest ever since.
Damn.
I caught a Fed case. I got caught with 400 pounds of weed and like $500,000 cash.
Right.
So yeah, there's no sustaining. Like, I don't know anybody at this level that's sustaining themselves financially with rap music. Not one.
Right, because it seems like there's no real money.
And you know what the real shit is? Nobody would be this honest with you. They would be like, oh, well, I sell features, and it's like, man, you faking jacks. Like, yo, the only way, I mean, look, I do make money off of rap, but it ain't money you can't survive on it.
Right.
Like, even when I get advances from Fat Beats and shit, because like they put out all my records, it's like, yo, it's a couple G's, man. It ain't like the old days.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. Like to earn a living making beats, you got to be hustling way harder than you ever did have to do with drugs. And it's like, for me, it wasn't worth it.
Mm.
Like, because I used to listen from 2008 to like 2012-ish. I did earn a living making beats because I was able to sell beats. Like, listen, man, when you do a song for Vinny Paz and then 15 foreigners who only listen to Vinny Paz want beats, they'll pay you $1,000 a beat.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like that these days. Like, yo, all them days are over. You know what I'm saying? That the internet leveled the playing field to where everybody has an equal chance to do what you do, whether you like it or not. The barrier of entry is on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no there's no like mystique anymore. Listen, man, when we used to make music back in the day, you used to have to book a studio on like a Tuesday night at 3 a.m. to be able to get a better rate because you couldn't afford $1,200 an hour. You know what I'm saying? It's like people don't have to pay those dues anymore. That stuff's over. You're just rapping in your bedroom and putting it on Bandcamp, and people are just cashing checks.
Right. So I spoke to a lot of other beat makers or whatever, and they saying really how the thing to do is find an MC, you know, and split the streamings and the album sales with them, and that's how you get your money.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, like how much money we talking? Like, yo, I got songs that look, I got songs that got like 1 million plays, 600,000, man. It's like I ain't but yeah, it's not sustainable, man. A culture needs commerce to thrive, and there's no commerce in the rap game.
So,
Even,
this is really just got to be straight for the love. There's no,
I love
it's all for love.
Listen, I make beats. If I didn't, I'd be diving out that window head first. Like, yo, this is my salvation, man. It saved my life. You know what I'm saying? I started making beats in like 2000, man, and I was going through it even then. Like, my mom's died from cancer. My brother got killed by the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was some bullshit, man. Music got me through it.
Right.
So it's like I die. So that's another reason why I don't try to play the politics game, man, because I don't need these people for anything. Like, I make beats because I love making music. And when I find someone like Feeve or I find someone like Verb Tech, I got a whole record with Mooch, I got a whole record with Planet Asia. I am working.
Right.
But it's like, yo, none of that shit really moves me, man. Like the fun part for me is when I, digging through records, putting a record that I've never heard on the turntable, hearing that sample and then making the beat. Like that's the lifeblood of this shit.
Right. So you're not going out there shopping beats like back in the day and chasing the next hottest artist.
No, not
to
at
rhyme
all.
over your beats.
No.
Right.
Not at all.
Because I always wonder, I'm like, okay, you if you reach out to these dudes, especially like an up and coming beat maker, it seems like you have to give these beats away free for the most part.
Yeah, and then it's like, at what expense of yourself? Like, what are you willing to sell your soul for? You know what I'm saying? To get a song with Kendrick Lamar. And it's like, listen, that's part of the problem that I have with the rap game is there are so many gatekeepers and so many people that are not in it to help you gain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like even No ID. Like when No ID did like the Death of Autotune, he had to go through Jermaine Dupri to be able to play beats for Jay-Z. It's like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Like, what's with the gatekeeping, man? I mean, I have my own theory. I think the gatekeeping is like that because there are only so many seats at the table.
Right.
Because again, there's not enough bread to spread around to 50, 60 people. So like, the top 10 people make all the money and then the rest of everybody else is just struggling, man.
Right. Yeah, because on the outside looking in, you're thinking this guy is doing his thing. He's got songs with a lot of these hot underground artists or whatever. So you thinking, okay, rap is sustaining him or whatever. You wonder, is he working a job? What is he doing? What's going on?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you for clearing that up and just being honest, because a lot of these guys will tell you, hip hop is paying their bills, and then some of them have been like, as a beat maker, they work with a lot of the hot dudes, but they still got jobs.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, and anybody telling you, like, listen, anybody telling you at this level that rap's paying their bills, that means they still live with their moms or they got like 3 different roommates. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right.
Like how, like again, what level are we talking of sustainability?
Right. So my whole thing, and this is what I wonder: sustainability is: do you own a home or an apartment by yourself, a car, pay all your bills, and you middle class of hip hop?
I mean, I don't know.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'll tell you this much: like I live alone, but it's like my grandpa's died, and it's like I'm staying in his house. It ain't my crib. I didn't buy this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, but sustainability for me, like I said, like it was like that 4-year period before I started hustling or whatever. Like sustainability to me was just being able to wake up and go to sleep whenever I wanted. Like that was the victory.
Right.
not having to work a job. And even, I'm listen, it was a very modest living, but you know, you're winning in your own mind. The problem now that I'm like 41, like, yo, there's no health insurance, there's no 401k, there's no savings account. Everything is check to check if you're living off of rap music. And when you start getting desperate, you start taking different checks. Like, I'll say this much with my name, like produced by Vanderslice, is there's a certain standard there. Like, there's not a lot of whack joints out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take paychecks from garbage rappers, man.
Right. And that was the next question I was going to ask you. Have you ever sold beats to an artist you just wasn't feeling? And this artist
No.
you hot on the underground that everybody likes, but you particularly just don't like them. And I was going to ask you, would you sell that artist a beat or
No.
beats?
No, not at all.
Even if he's hot, he's the
No,
hot.
I don't
And I'm talking
care.
about, and when I say hot, I'm talking about like in the underground level. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because I would say, I mean, the underground level, no. I mean, listen, if fucking Ludacris came knocking on my door for beats, of course I would sell him beats. But yeah, no.
Right.
I mean, listen, the way I would approach that if they were super garbage and they were hot, I would give them a fuck you price and see if they paid it, and then I would tackle it honestly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I have no interest. Like, again, man, because there was no sustainability. I had no interest in trying to sustain myself with working with garbage rappers.
Right.
But like you say, yeah, well, you know, say somebody. No, I'm not. I was just throw somebody under the bus. We're not doing it.
Yeah. Not on this platform. Let's not.
We're not doing that. Exactly.
Right.
It's like, you know, if somebody whack was like, hey, man, I want to beat. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, things are going good for me right now. So I charge 5 G's a beat. And if he PayPal me 5 G's, I'd give him a heater. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do throwaways and I don't do name credits. Like, I'm producing an EP for a girl that nobody knows. She paid me righteously. She's getting a fair shake. Like, I gave her bangers. Like,
But
so
did you like? Do you like her style?
yeah.
Okay. Right.
Plus, I mean, for me, if I can bring the women in, why not? Dude, nobody else is.
Right. So basically, what I'm hearing is you have integrity. You're not just going to take a check, you know, from someone that you really ain't feeling like that.
No, not at all.
That music lasts forever when you do that with that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, because of where we are at this level, man, integrity is everything, and you want your brand to be as strong as possible.
Right.
I mean, that was part of the reason why I stopped messing with Stu. Like, listen, man, if you go on YouTube and put in produced by Stu Bangas, there's like 30 songs by Russian guys that are just like, what do you like? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my name attached to any of that.
Gotcha. So, speaking of which, so you being a beat maker, you're also a fan first.
Absolutely.
Right. So, who are you feeling that's new and up and coming today as beat makers?
Well, my
These
favorite,
underheads.
I'd say my favorite producer is Seb Bash. He's not a new guy though.
Okay.
Like he
I've
just
heard
did the. Yeah, I mean, listen, Seb's from Switzerland. He's been a monster forever, and he's finally getting his just due. But beyond that, like my man Max Julian from Chicago, a monster. Trox, my man Trox is a monster. Like, I mean, like those, like what Max and Trox are guys that, like, when I hear their beats, they inspire me to go get to work. Because I call Max the new Sid Rooms. He's doing that really electric synth hard shit from Chicago. Dude, he's a beast, man.
Gotcha.
And he's working with, like, he's doing his own shit too. So, like, you know, he's got a 45 with Ransom. He's working with Vic Spencer. He was working with my man Water. I got a whole project with Water.
Yeah, Water's dope.
Yeah, Water's really, dude, his voice is incredible, man. He just had a heart transplant, man. We're bouncing back. You know what I'm saying? Love is love, man. We love Water, man.
Right. So, speaking of MCs, who's on your wish list that you want to work with? Anybody?
My wish list is actually short because when I did the best album money can buy, I knocked out 4 of my 5 favorite rappers in 1 year. That was Prodigy, Percy P, Ghostface, and Styles P and Jada. So I knocked all them out in like a 3-month period.
Wow.
So I mean, like, my bucket list is like probably guys that I could never get to. Like, I would love to work with Rick Ross.
Really?
Yeah, I love that. I love Rick Ross. He's one of my favorite. He's probably my favorite famous rapper. Him and Schoolboy Q.
Yeah.
I mean, dudes on the underground are. I could pretty much at this point I could reach anybody on the underground up to a certain level. I mean, I worked with Conway. I would do something with Benny. I mean, I like Benny,
Right.
but it's like beyond that, like I don't like a lot of the new rappers, man. Like the run on sentence rap dudes, I just can't mess with them, man. Like never committed a crime, Apple. I just can't. I can't do it.
Right. So this is my last question before I let you go. I mean, what advice could you give some of these up and coming producers that's trying to have sustainability in the game like you?
Do the work. Don't let people hear your beats when you're 6 months in the game. Like do the work. It takes years. I started making beats in 1999. I didn't let anybody hear beats until about 2004. And even then, it was like I let Jay Zone hear some of my beats because he was a close friend of mine back then. And I just wanted feedback like, do I have something here? Like, I didn't know whether I was garbage or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't put up a SoundCloud link and don't let people, oh, I've been making beats for 8 months. It's like, yo, if you've been making beats for 8 months, go make beats for another 8 months and listen to how, if you're dedicated to it, if you're actually, like I said, if you love this shit and you're dedicated to it, 16 months, you're going to be light years ahead of where you were. You're going to be embarrassed to listen to what you were making when you were 8 months in. So don't let people listen to substandard fucking music, man. Put the work in. Please, for the love of God, put the work in. Nobody wants to do the work.
Word. Well, listen, your transparency was very appreciated. Well appreciated.
I appreciate
Well
you
appreciated.
having me on here, man.
Oh yeah,
Anytime.
most definitely. This is strictly for my diggers, so I just want to, with this platform, I like to put the beat makers / producers in the forefront, because some people still may not know what you look like, who is Vanderslice or whatever. So this platform is giving you a voice.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're celebrating you. You know what I mean? All the beat makers that's keeping that sound alive, but at the same time, you're giving jewels to those
I'm trying, man. Yeah.
that are coming up that want to do what you're doing and don't have a direction or just don't know.
Yeah, because and one more extra thing: if you're just starting and you're really nice, like, I mean, like really dope, and you actually put the time and you put the work in to progress to become a producer, don't chase other rappers. Don't go try to get beats to West Side Gun or try to find the next West Side Gun. Go work with people around you. That's the only way you're going to get better. Especially if you want to be a producer, like if you want to produce rappers, find people around your area. And if you live in Iowa or whatever, go find some guy in a cornfield. Like just start anywhere. Just go make music. You know what I'm saying? Right. Don't worry about any of the business side. Don't try to sell it on Bandcamp. Don't worry about clearing samples. I don't care if you sample Michael Jackson with the honey drippers with the drum breaks, man. Just do the work. Because by the time you're ready to actually spread your wings and fly on your own, West Side Gun's going to be 10 years older from now. He's not even going to be relevant. You want to find people around you that you can try to build to bring with you as a producer. You know what I'm saying? All the dopest producers from like that era, they all had their own artists, man. They weren't freelancing.
Right.
Like Premier had Guru. You know what I'm saying? Dre had NWA. The RZA had Wu-Tang.
Smooth.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? They all had their own people. Bring your own people with you. I can't stress that enough. And you can't tell me you can't find a rapper. Rappers are fucking everywhere.
Everywhere. This
Dude,
one right now, probably. You know what I'm saying? Word up. So yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And you just saying, just grow with that artist and
listen, that's the way you catch a wave, man, especially if you're doing anything interesting. You know what I mean? Like, listen, don't chase the trends. Don't try to play the hits. Don't try to do radio beats. None of that shit. Do what comes natural to you.
Word. And just be realistic that there's really no money in it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you know what money is? Like, the money in it is to be able to press another record. We want to sell enough records to be able to fund the next move. And then if something pops, like I said, if something pops, you get a check. Like I said, I'm not starving over here, but it's like the definition of thriving and surviving are two different things. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because I would say, like, even the most successful independent producer it's 85% guts for 15% of the glory.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? If you're built for that, I mean, like I said, I'm built for that. Like, I've been through it, and it's, again, man, you know.
Right. So right now you're just surviving off straight hip hop.
Yeah. Because, I mean, dude, I still gotta go to court in September. Like, I'm not allowed to do anything. I can't do it. I mean,
right. Wow.
So, I mean, but again, I'm doing a lot of work, man. I got a lot of beat tapes. Like, you know, my whole thing is like, again, like if I put something on Bandcamp tomorrow, I'll bring in like a G in that weekend, and like that'll get me through the month. And it's like, thankfully, I haven't had to do that yet. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, man, like, yo, if you're a rap group or whatever, like, yo, even if you bring in $1,000 off a Bandcamp link, like that's not really, again, that's not sustainability. That's like quick cash. That's grocery money.
Right. True indeed. Well, once again, yo, thank you for being on Strictly for My Diggers. I appreciate the transparency. This has been a very, very ill interview. Open my eyes to a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And just keeping it 100. You know, I appreciate that.
That's the way, it's the way, man. I wish more people were more honest. We'd be a lot better off.
Oh, yeah, we definitely would. Definitely would. All right, my brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, peace.
Tell you now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from you, I'm not gonna cheat you. I'm gonna